Yo, yo, everybody, what is up? I got this sun beating down on me. It's the middle of the day. Um, it is your friendly neighborhood physical therapist, Dr. Ryan Welton. Let me see if I can get this out of the way. There you go. I'll just get really close to you guys. It's your friendly neighborhood physical therapist, Dr. Ryan Welton, coming to you from just outside the beautiful Tampa Bay area. If you are new to following me, I am a physical therapist that has a chronic pain clinic. I call it the I've failed everything clinic. And I've learned to get exceptional results in that patient population. I publish statistically historic papers in readership, and not just the field of orthopedics, actually in medicine itself, getting multiple times what some of the biggest journals in the world get 3 to 5 years post publication. So I published Root Cause of SI Joint Dysfunction. I published another paper called Root Cause of Sacral Torsion Shear Anterior Sacral Tilt. I published Root Cause of Plantar Fasciitis. I published Root Cause of Carpal Tunnel Syndrome, and a paper on shoulder impingements, shoulder issues. So those are on my, actually, if you click the link below, the school group, you can join that school group. I have them posted in there, okay? Where I'm teaching in that school group. So I'm teaching, that's my VIP group, and I'm teaching much more in-depth stuff. And then I also have my advanced clinical mentorship, where not only do you get 59% off all of my courses, but I actually teach weekly live with Q&A. And then I also have a cash, so that's my clinical mentorship. And then I have my hybrid clinical business mentorship, where I teach you this cash-based business model that I run. I have so for almost 2 decades now. And in this business model, it is a 7-figure one therapist business model. You heard that correctly. But it's based off results, and it's based off of my clinical stuff. I show you like how to get patients, how I get patients out of pain immediately. And when you get them out of pain immediately, they trust you. There's no sales techniques. I don't do sales techniques. I'm not a natural salesperson. I just get them out of pain, and they trust that I know what I'm doing because they're sitting there with no pain after 20 years, you know? So anyways, if you're struggling like 10K or 20K a month in your cash-based business, or want to start one, these things do this in a week, do that in a week. So anyways, that's that. Okay, so today I am talking about, what am I talking about? I'm talking about, I don't touch people's necks. I don't touch them when I rehab them. That sounds strange to people, but I don't see the point. So the only time I ever touch someone's neck in rehab is when I like do a C2 mob to relieve a headache. I cover that actually in the school group. Click below. It's free. Join the school group. There's a video on how I do it. And so, but other than that, all I do is I evaluate them. I touch their neck to make, it's usually hypertonic, so I calm down the nervous system. But other than that, I don't touch people's necks. I don't stretch it. What I find when it comes to necks, what I've found over the years when it comes to necks is that it's a 2-dimensional issue. It's not just a straight up physical therapy, strengthen the parascapular muscles, stretch the chest, that kind of thing. Only a certain amount of people get better when you do that, I've found. But when years ago, I started asking myself, like, why do my patients feel like they've been in a car accident, but they haven't been in a car accident? Like, they feel like they have whiplash in their neck, Like, I don't understand, I mean, were you in a car accident? No, and I'm like, huh? Like, their necks were hypertonic, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, why would someone's neck be hypertonic? I know, because that's where we hold our tension is in our neck. And so I started to, at that point, focus on the muscular system, right? But then I'm a root cause thinker. So there's only so long I'm focusing on something before I start asking, what's the why behind that, right? So I'm asking, what's the why behind why someone's muscles are tight, okay? And the what controls the muscular system, right? What controls muscle tension? The nervous system. If the nervous system is upregulated, then the person naturally has tension in their muscular system. And when that happens, then you have a hypertonic neck. Okay. So the physical therapy portion of it, the straight up exercise portion of it only work. It's not going to touch this. If you think about it, if the person's stressed and holding tension in their neck, then that is what you need to get to. Okay. But so most of my patients that come in here have been given skeletal muscle relaxants. They have been for their neck. They have been to PT, gave them exercises. Chiropractic, adjusted it. Massage therapy, they go to massage therapists a lot and they relax it, or even Botox injections for the headache type neck tension people, right? But my question had always been, yeah, great. If something's coming back, continually coming back, then something's being missed. I think anybody would agree with that. If you know if if I have a cyst or something in my knee and you drain it, it comes back to something causing that, right? So if somebody has excess tension in their neck, then there's a reason for that, and it's not as simple as just saying, oh well, let's stretch it, like, let me ask you a question. Clinically speaking, would you stretch a whiplash patient? Would you stretch their neck? Someone that has whiplash? I wouldn't. Uh, and the reason why is because what happens in whiplash? They get muscle tears, right? Micro tears in the muscles, right? No, you've got to let them calm down. They're in a spasm, right? So when you touch people's necks here and it's tight, then they're in a spasm, right? So when they're in a spasm, the question is why are they in a spasm? So you ask the questions. Did you have trauma recently? Did you fall off a ladder? Did you get in a car accident? Whatever it is. No, 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 they say, right? And then the next thing that you start to ask yourself is, why does this person have tension in their neck? Why would that happen? Is because that's where we all hold our stress, is in our neck. Now, in this clinic, where I call it the I've failed everything clinic, because most of my patients come in here and say, I've failed everything, is that I see the same things all day long. Okay. I see mechanical back pain, SI joint, sacral torsion, sacral shear. I see that all day long. Uh, I see rib head misalignments, believe it or not. Right? I learned that at school, Northeastern University, 20 years ago. And I'm seeing that in here. No one ever sprung their ribs. Out of everybody they went to, no one ever sprung their ribs. Costovertebral misalignments in the back. I see that a lot. I see neck tension specifically in women a lot. Okay. And mainly women, actually. Maybe 75-25%, something like that. I see in here. And the neck tension, um, the neck tension, the neck tension that I see in here, they usually, like, I got one like right now that's like, I've tried everything. Nobody knows how to get rid of this tension in my neck, right? As soon as I hear that, a lot of them will come in with MRIs of herniated disc. This person did, but yet they have pain down in here, in the upper traps where we hold our stress, right? So, like, I'm going to put them on my neck protocol, so I'm not worried about the physical therapy portion of it. I stretch here, strengthen periscapular muscle, certain rotator cuff muscles, proper anatomical position. shoulders back and down type thing. But if I do not address the nervous system, that's only going to get me so far. Maybe 50% relief, maybe not, maybe none. You know. But so what I started doing was a multidimensional, holistic approach years ago. Okay, and that holistic approach is when I target the nervous system. Okay, now one way you can do that. Okay, is so the person's stressed, right? So years ago, I started to be like, oh, well, if you're stressed, then start a meditation habit, right? No one would do that. Like, I think I had one person do it. And to the point that I actually stopped talking about it. Um, and because nobody will do it. Nobody will sit and put the work, if you will, and try to calm their nervous system down. They just won't do it. So I realized that that was a colossal waste of time, so I stopped talking about it. Um, and but one way you could do it is if you go to YouTube and watch the Earthing movie. It's called the Earthing movie. Okay, it's like got like 8 million views. The one that's like over an hour long. There's all kinds of clips now, but it's like an industry now. Half my patients have heard about it, whereas 5 years ago nobody heard about it. And there's an electron transfer from the Earth, and that has a profound effect on our health and nervous system, to the point that just by sleeping on a grounded pillowcase that you can buy on Amazon for like 25 bucks, just by sleeping on a grounded pillowcase, I can get about 30% reduction in neck tension just by that. 8 hours on a grounded pillowcase. So that is something that is very, 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 very beneficial. I've found. Now, I have one person that actually shocked me right now. That I put her on a grounded pillowcase. Within a week, she had no more neck tension, and that was one of the main reasons she came to me. And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, it doesn't hurt anymore. And I'm like, really? I'm like, that's amazing. I'm like, I didn't, like what? Usually it's 30%, In fact, I quoted her about 30%. I can get your neck tension down just with this. And she comes in with nothing. I was stunned, you know. So anyways, a grounding pillowcase reduces neck tension by 30%. Now, I have much more advanced ways of doing this that I talk about. Join the group, the school group, right below. Click the link. That's my VIP group. I talk about other ways and what else I do. And I go much deeper into my clinical mentorship. But having said that, okay, I don't touch people's necks. I don't stretch them, with the occasion of one thing that I don't see that often. And that is like an arthritic neck that wants their range of motion back. I'll do snags with them. Or a capsular hypo, mobility, capsule contractures in the neck. I do snags with them, and, but I don't even see that much. Like maybe one a year, but I treat necks a lot. And this is what I do with them. I fix their posture. I put them on my neck protocol for herniated disc or whatever. And then I turn the volume down on their nervous system, because the nervous system controls the muscular system. If you do not get to the muscular system, the nervous system, then you're managing symptoms. And you know that because the patient still has the problem, right? So you can't take away stress out of people's lives, right? But what you can do is help them manage it. Okay. And one super cheap way that everybody can afford is a $25 grounding pillowcase. Watch the Earthing movie on YouTube, the science behind it. Very interesting. And just try it yourself, I would say 99% of my patients report sleeping better. Okay. But I noticed, clinically speaking, that I could get their neck tension down 30%. And it's super cheap. It's natural. It's the Earth. It's like going to the beach, Anyways, so that is something that I caught on to earlier on in my career. is that these neck tension issues weren't just a physical therapy thing. They were a more holistic type treatment, rehab, if you will, to help these people. Okay, so if you want to join my school group, click below. Okay, that's my VIP group. It's free, and then I also have my clinical mentorship. Okay, where I give you all of my courses, all of them, my orthopedic protocol, everything I do in here. I share it with people. People can't believe it. They're like, I can't believe you give this away. Um, my orthopedic protocols, my 1,000 pages of myofascial maps of the body, my sciatica cervical radiculopathy course, how I get my patients out of pain immediately in here. I show you and how I get them better in this, what I call a failed everything clinic. Okay. And then also I have my cash-based clinic model. So if you are, it's based on results. It's very different. I don't sell physical therapy. I don't sell anything in here. I get the person out of pain. And then they are willing, people say, oh, well, people aren't willing to go out of network or whatever. I'm like, yes, they are. And the reason why is because they're desperate for someone that actually knows what they're doing with certain conditions. And I see it all day long in here. In my root cause of sacral torsion, shear, anterior sacral tilt with SI joint, I asked the 19 patients I published in that paper. You can find it in my school group. Click below. I asked the 19 patients because they told me over the years that they didn't want to live anymore. With they had to live with this. They can't sleep. They can't stand up. They can't lay on their side. They can't do anything. And they're in so much shearing bone pain. I asked them, and 57% had thought about going like this. So I documented that in that paper. I wanted people to know what was happening, especially in these chronic low back pain patients, that these people have shearing back pain in their back. So if you're trying to tell me that people don't go out of network, I'm like, know what you're talking about. And the reason why is because people are desperate for someone that actually invested in trying to figure out these complex issues, and they will pay you. So I teach people how to charge $400 for 30 minutes. Very different, very, very different than the traditional cash-based standard PT model. But I teach you the clinical stuff, okay? I teach you all the business stuff, and I teach you the clinical stuff. So it's like having a clinical expert and a cash-based clinical expert in one. And that's what I am for people, okay? Anyways, there's limited spots with both of those. So click that link, join, and we'll see you there. Okay? Peace. Love you all.